All right. Good morning, all of you. Thank you very much for joining in. Welcome to Beyond Pings and welcome to this new webinar that we are going to have today. And before we start talking, I just wanted to say this, that it's a Saturday morning and a lot of people just take it easy on a Saturday. But some of you people who have joined in and are coming in here, it's a commitment towards a cause, and it's also seriousness towards a topic that you guys are taking time and coming in. Thank you so very much for joining in. It's important. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Doctor because of his busy schedule. He's always there on time managing it. Today he had something which was urgent, so he had to take care of that and come in. So we are late by about 10 minutes, but that was an important cause that he was attending to. So thank you so very much, Doctor, to come in and join us. Yes, I don't think you are audible, Doctor. Just speak once. Let me see.
Yeah. Very good morning to everybody.
Yes, thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Right.
So let's get started.
Yes, absolutely. Let's get started. And we have, I think you guys are getting familiar with the doctor and with his ease and comfort with which he is explaining all the topics from the last 2 weeks. Dr. Dattatreya is a medical oncologist, specializes in cancer. And this month being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we are doing series of workshops and webinars around breast cancer awareness. And what we are trying to say here, which is a one-line problem statement which we are trying to solve, early detection will take care of your curing if you detect it early. So everything that we are trying to tell you here is about how do you detect it at home, how do you do it by yourself. You can detect it early on and then control breast cancer. Now, third series of this webinar, today we are going to talk about the advanced cure and therapies which are available. And I personally, doctor, get very, very confused because it's a half knowledge which is available outside. And especially when you read on Google and you are going everywhere and trying to research, there is so much of information overload. And we kind of read more about it. And the more I read, the more confused I get. Because one article will say something, the other says, no, this is not the right thing. And then there is so much of advancement which is happening in the cancer space. We really can't keep up with what is happening, what is good for me, because it's very individualized treatment. And three is, at that point in time, there is a cure which is available for that patient. Only a doctor or a specialized person can tell. So today what we are going to talk about is, out of this ocean of knowledge which is available and which is very confusing on the therapies and the cure, we are going to go step by step and look at what are the cures which are available. And if somebody is suggesting something, at least you are getting information from a specialized doctor and not reading and doing your own research. So we are going to bust a lot of myths around that. And the first one, doctor, I'm taking it personally and would want to understand, is about chemotherapy. Okay? And we use this word very conveniently. Everybody, avarkena avute mana first enti chemotherapy cheseskunna antam. Avaruku ayindi adi apply cheseskuni manam chemotherapy vellera ani question adgestam. Aa chemotherapy anindi enti? అది ఎందుకు చేస్తాము అండ్ అన్ని క్యాన్సర్లకి అవుతుందా లేకపోతే బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ స్పెసిఫికలీ దానికి యూజ్ చేస్తామా? ప్లీజ్ షేర్ సంథింగ్ మోర్ అబౌట్ వాట్ ఈస్ కీమోథెరపీ.
So to take it literally, therapy with chemicals is chemotherapy. So so you treat the patient with chemicals, so that's chemotherapy. Now a chemical is something like a poison, like a toxin. So a chemical will be able to kill the abnormally dividing, for example, breast cancer cell. At the same time, the chemical is not able to distinguish the normal cells. So when you give a chemical to treat a disease, you are in a human being, in a person, you also end up causing harm to some of the neighboring innocent bystander cells, and therefore you find all the side effects of chemotherapy. For example, the hair cells are also dividing, and therefore they get affected, and therefore you find hair loss as a very common side effect of many of the chemotherapies. The hemoglobin can fall down because the red blood cells are affected. The white
Okay.
blood cells can reduce. The platelets also can reduce. There's some weakness and some fatigue because it will also slightly impact the muscles or the nerves. Now, mind you, all the side effects of normal cells are temporary. They are transient. They are reversible, and they're usually manageable. So when the term chemotherapy comes, the side effects come to our mind. At the
Yes.
same time, we need to realize that these side effects can be conveniently tackled, and they don't cause any permanent damage unless we are extremely unfortunate. So whenever
Okay.
the dose of a chemotherapy is decided, it actually goes to a lot of preclinical trials, clinical trials, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then the drug comes in the market. So
Okay.
it already has been tested in controlled conditions, and then the patient is given what is standard treatment. Now, when
Okay.
we say chemotherapy, so as you rightly mentioned, madam, ప్రతి క్యాన్సర్ కి అదే కీమోథెరపీ ఉంటుంది. బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ కోసం వాడే కీమోథెరపీ వేరేగా ఉంటుంది, కోలోన్ క్యాన్సర్ కి వేరేగా ఉంటుంది, స్టమక్ క్యాన్సర్ కి వేరేగా, బికాస్ ఆల్ దీస్ సెల్స్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్. సో ప్రతి కీమోథెరపీకి అదే ఇంపాక్ట్ ఉండకపోవచ్చు కూడా. సో
Okay.
ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, కోలోన్ క్యాన్సర్ కి వాడే కెమికల్స్ హెయిర్ లాస్ యూజువల్లీ చెయ్యవు.
Okay.
బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్స్ కి వాడే కీమోథెరపీ కామన్ గా హెయిర్ లాస్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాయి.
Okay.
So
And
don't worry about the term chemotherapy.
okay.
It's there for almost in the field of oncology for almost more than 60-70 years now. And the last 60-70, especially last 20 years లో కెమికల్స్ లో బాగా డెవలప్మెంట్స్ వచ్చాయి, బాగా అడ్వాన్సెస్ వచ్చాయి. సో దాంతో సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఇంకా బాగా తగ్గిపోయి ఆ సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ని ట్యాకిల్ చేయడం కోసం చాలా మంచి మందులు వచ్చేసాయి. WBC కౌంట్స్ పడకుండా ఒక ఇంజెక్షన్, రెడ్ బ్లడ్ సెల్స్ కౌంట్ పడకుండా ఒక ఇంజెక్షన్, ప్లేట్లెట్స్ పడకుండా టాబ్లెట్లు, అలాగే చాలా మంచి మందులు. సో డోంట్ వరీ అబౌట్ ద కీమోథెరపీ ఆర్ ద సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్. వీ కెన్ ట్యాకిల్ ఇట్ కంఫర్టబుల్ అండ్ ఎఫెక్టివ్లీ.
Okay. And how long do the side effects last, doctor?
So,
Hair loss and avani.
బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ కి ఇచ్చే కీమోథెరపీ యూజువల్లీ 4, 6 or 8 సైకిల్స్ ఆ జబ్బు స్టేజ్ ని బట్టి. సో 8 సైకిల్స్ అంటే యూజువల్లీ 6 months లో అంత ట్రీట్మెంట్ అయిపోతూ ఉంటుంది.
Okay.
And
during where you will have all of these symptoms antunar.
Yes, all the acute problems happen in those 6 months or in those 4 months. A treatment anta ayipoyaka usually within 3 months and sometimes 6 months lo almost always patients come back to the pre-chemotherapy normalcy. So anta worry avukandi, chemotherapy ane word anta bhayankaramaina shabdam kaadu. Ippudu it was in 50s and 60s and 70s. We are now living in the 21st century. So don't worry at all. It's easily manageable.
So ఏ స్టేజ్ లో డాక్టర్ సర్జరీ చేస్తారు, ఏ స్టేజ్ లో సర్జరీ అంటే ఏంటి? మనం సర్జరీ నార్మల్లీ ఎవ్రీబడి అండర్స్టాండ్, బట్ పర్టికులర్లీ బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ తో అన్నప్పుడు వెన్ డు యూ డూ కీమోథెరపీ, వెన్ డు యూ డూ సర్జరీ, ఎలా రికమెండ్ చేస్తారు? కామన్ మ్యాన్ కి ఏం అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి ఈ పాయింట్ వచ్చేసరికి?
So let's go from behind. 4వ స్టేజ్ బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ అంటే ఆల్రెడీ బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ లంగ్స్ కి, లివర్ కి, బోన్స్ కి అన్ని పాకిపోయి ఉంది. సో ఆల్రెడీ లంగ్ బ్రెస్ట్ లోంచి మిగతా చోట్ల వెళ్ళిపోయింది కనుక ఎలా పాకింది? వయా ద బ్లడ్ స్ట్రీమ్. సో అలాంటప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ఆపరేషన్ చేసే ప్రయోజనం? ఎందుకంటే ద డిసీజ్ ఇస్ ఎవ్రీవేర్ ఎల్స్ ఇన్ ద బాడీ. సో అప్పుడు 4వ స్టేజ్ బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ లో ముందు కీమోథెరపీ ఇస్తాం. కీమోథెరపీ ఇస్తే దాంతో పాటు జబ్బు తగ్గుతుంది, రికవరీ వస్తుంది. తర్వాత కొన్ని రిపోర్ట్స్ ని బట్టి అవసరం ఉంటే టాబ్లెట్స్ ఆర్ సమ్ యాంటీబాడీస్ కంటిన్యూ చేస్తాం. 3వ స్టేజ్ బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ అంటే ద డిసీజ్ ఇస్ కన్ఫైన్డ్ టు హియర్ అండ్ ఇన్ ద యాక్సిలరీ నోడ్స్. అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ ద బ్రెస్ట్ అండ్ ద యాక్సిల్లా ఓన్లీ. ఇట్ హెస్ నాట్ గాన్ బియాండ్ ద చెస్ట్. అలాంటప్పుడు ఆపరేషన్ చెయ్యాలి. కానీ కొంచెం ట్యూమర్ పెద్దగా ఉంది కనుక, లింఫ్ నోడ్స్ ఇన్వాల్వ్ అయ్యే కనుక ఆపరేషన్ ఎక్స్టెంట్ బాగా ఎక్కువ అయిపోతుంది. దీస్ డేస్ అందరూ దే వాంట్ టు కన్సర్వ్ దేర్ బ్రెస్ట్. అల్టిమేట్లీ ఇట్స్ ఎ పర్సనల్ అసెట్. Yes. And it should not happen that it will slightly make you feel inferior. At least it should not make you feel that you are uncomfortable.
Yes.
So alantappudu we go for a breast conserving surgery because everybody wants to conserve the organs what God has given.
Yes.
We love our body and
Yes.
the way we are. We don't want distortions in that.
Absolutely.
When you do a mastectomy, which means you remove the entire breast, మనకి కొంచెం డిస్టార్షన్ కనపడుతుంది. అలా కాకుండా ఈవెన్ దో ఇట్ ఇస్ స్టేజ్ 3, ఐ వాంట్ టు కన్సర్వ్ మై బ్రెస్ట్ అంటే ఆపరేషన్ చేసి మొత్తం తీసేయాలి. అలా కాకుండా ఒక 4, 6, 8 కోర్సులు కీమోథెరపీ ఇస్తే ట్యూమర్ మొత్తం దగ్గర పడుతుంది. And then you go for a breast conserving surgery, remove only that area which is involved by the disease. So that is breast conserving surgery. So you don't remove the breast completely and preserve the normal breast tissue as it is.
Very nice. So chala chakkaga chepparu meeru that first step is to go step by step on doing the chemotherapy and shrink the space so that you are taking only a small part of the breast so that the rest of the breast is intact.
ఇప్పుడు coming to stage 2 and stage 1, డైరెక్ట్ గానే బ్రెస్ట్ కన్సర్వింగ్ సర్జరీ కనుక ఈజీగా వీల్ అయిపోతే, బికాజ్ ఎర్లీ బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ కనుక it's not locally advanced, has not gone to different organs.
Yes.
So therefore you can go for upfront surgery.
Okay.
But sometimes it might be a 2.5 centimeter tumor, but the breasts are small. So even there a big defect may, therefore you may again give some chemo and make it relatively lesser when compared to the normal tissue. Now a 2.5 cm tumor in a larger breast, the defect will not be that much.
Yes.
So అలాంటప్పుడు early stage breast cancer లో వీలుంటే directly operate. If for some reason you cannot do breast conservation, give some chemo again and then perform a breast conserving surgery. So for all practical purposes, the goal of a surgical oncologist is to somehow do a breast conserving surgery only.
Okay.
So any patient of breast cancer which is early breast cancer and still I may completely avoid the surgery, breast cancer treatment lo breast lonche jabbu puttindi kanuka danni mottam operation chesi teeseyalsinde. If you want to get completely cured from an early stage breast cancer, surgery cannot be avoided. It's a very important step in the entire treatment.
Very important. Okay, I think this is a very, very important point, Dr. మీరు చెప్పింది ఇప్పుడు. And what we end up thinking is, we end up talking to మన ఫ్రెండ్స్తో మాట్లాడతాం, వాళ్ళకి ఏదో ట్రీట్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది, మనము ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ నాకు కూడా ఆ స్టేజ్ వస్తుంది, నేను అలాగే ఐ హ్యావ్ టు గో త్రూ ద సేమ్ ఫేజెస్. ఇట్స్ నాట్ ట్రూ. ఎవ్రీ ట్రీట్మెంట్ ఇస్ కస్టమైజ్డ్ లుకింగ్ అట్ what stage you are in. అది రెండోది, depending on the size of the breast, you are saying that you will take a decision on when to do the surgery and how much to do the surgery.
Yeah, and one more important point is that as a treating doctor or a treating oncologist, we should always put myself in the shoes of the patient and always ask what the patient wants. It's a joint decision. So I should never thrust upon my ideas and say you should do this dogmatically. It should be always a joint discussion between the oncologist, the relatives, and of course the patient. At the end of it, we should always end up doing what the patient wants, listen to her needs, and accordingly customize the treatment to that particular patient in front of me. So as you rightly pointed out, madam, it can never be a generalized guideline applicable to all breast cancer patients. Each patient is individual and everything has to be taken into consideration.
Very, very important point. And inko doctor మీరు చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు that you have to take the patient's point of view. A patient has a very limited knowledge, doctor. ఇప్పుడు what we are trying to do is create awareness, and when I go to a doctor to talk or consult, at least I'm little more aware and little bit more educated in terms of understanding what is offering, what is available for me. So I think what you are doing right now in terms of educating people, it's a very nice cause. Thank you very much one more time for breaking this whole myth and the challenge into step by step. Manchiga cheptunnaru. Thank you so much for that. Coming from there, మీరు ఇప్పుడు చెప్పిన పాయింట్లో డాక్టర్, there is a lot of thing about removing the breast. మొత్తం తీసేస్తారు, ఆ టైంకి ప్లాస్టిక్ సర్జరీ అని చెప్తారు. Okay, augmentation. Tell me more about at what stage it happens, at what damage, and what is the advancement which is available on this scale.
Extremely important question which has to be answered to all patients who are going to undergo any breast surgery or breast cancer surgery. In
Right.
fact, it's not just plastic surgery now. We are talking about plastic surgery happening in a patient who has a cancer or an oncology problem. So a separate branch has come up, a subspecialty has come up, which is called as oncoplastic breast surgery. అంటే ఆంకోప్లాస్టిక్ సర్జరీ అంటే ప్లాస్టిక్ సర్జరీలో కూడా వీఆర్
Okay.
పర్టైనింగ్ టు ద బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ పేషెంట్స్. ఎందుకంటే మామూలుగా ఒక నార్మల్ గడ్డి ఉందనుకో, ఇట్స్ బినైన్ లీజన్, యూ
Yes.
జస్ట్ రిమూవ్ దట్ పోర్షన్ అండ్ దట్స్ ది ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్.
Yes.
But breast cancer, if this is the tumor, I have to take a wide margin and then remove the whole thing. So it's important to have a normal tissue completely around. It's something like as if remove the whole thing in toto, so nothing
Okay.
is kept inside at a microscopic level.
Right.
So alantappudu sometimes the defect is a bit more bigger, and then the difference between the normal and the operated breast actually becomes quite obvious, which is slightly discomforting to the patient emotionally or mentally
Yes.
whenever she looks at her. So that
Yes.
large defect has to be filled, and that's what is done, as you rightly said, breast reconstruction or breast conserving surgery అయిపోయాక మళ్ళీ trying to do involve the plastic surgeon so that
Yes.
it again looks as good as the or almost as near normal as the opposite breast. So that's what is called as oncoplastic breast surgery. So if breast conserving surgery is done and the defect is very minimal, then we don't involve the plastic surgery. If the
Okay.
defect is larger, then the oncoplastic breast surgery team comes into picture so that it looks as much close to normalcy as possible. So that's the branch of surgery called as oncoplastic breast surgery for breast reconstruction. Sometimes we have to do, which happens very rarely these days, that the entire breast has to be removed. So మొత్తం ట్రీట్మెంట్ పూర్తి అయిపోయాక, మాస్టెక్టమీ అంతా అయిపోయాక, కీమో అన్ని అయిపోయాక, again afterwards at the end we again do a complete breast reconstruction.
Okay.
So క్యాన్సర్ తో క్యూర్ అయిపోయినా కూడా life continues, and that cured life from cancer should be as near to normal as possible. So it's a long journey. అందుకే initially when I talk to my patients, the counseling part, the first meeting, counseling takes a longer time. At
Yes.
the end of it, across all cancers, and I would like to conclude with that 10 to 20% is only my job to guide my treatment properly. 20 to 30% is the relatives, the family, who will try to bring what all, like financially, morally support the patient and try to do and bring what all I say. The
Yes.
remaining 50 to 60% is the patient, her mental strength, her willpower, her zeal to win the disease and again
Yes.
come back as a cancer warrior and win the disease once and for all permanently. So it's along with me, the patient becomes a key component of winning this battle. In fact, she is the main charioteer. We are just the people who are behind trying to make sure that she wins the battle.
చాలా బాగా పాయింట్ చెప్పారు సార్. ఎందుకంటే లాట్ ఆఫ్ విమెన్ లూజ్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్. దే ఆర్ జస్ట్ నాట్ ఫీలింగ్ సెల్ఫ్ వర్త్ of women's body, and breast play a very important role in a women's body. My confidence level, my self-worth, and when I look at myself in a mirror, people feel, and we are talking to a lot of warriors, survivors these days, they just don't feel that I am the same anymore. There is something which has changed. So a lot of it is a mental battle, then the physical battle also. So stage counseling మీరు చెప్పింది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ద మెసేజ్ టు విమెన్ అవుట్ దేర్ ఈజ్ it's with plastic surgery, onco surgery, onco ఏమన్నారు సార్? Oncoplasty breast
yes,
breast surgery. You can create back breast as natural as they were earlier, and you can live a normal life. And there is nothing wrong, or there is nothing changing in your body. It is changing, but it's a part of life. If you're looking at your entire life, this plays a small role in your life. So do not feel low, or do not feel bad that it's not the same anymore. It's not. It's life moves on. It's all right. Now,
I will just take a sentence more, that I would like to thank Beyond Pinks and Sridharani Foundation, because as I told you, compared to America, UK, where you see 7 patients a day, we
yes,
attend to, as not just cancer oncologists, but heart
yes,
specialists, everybody, we attend to a lot more volume of patients. And sometimes in that volumes, we are, sometimes it happens that enough time is not able to given for education, but medium like this, with you
yes,
coming forward, these educative sessions are always there for each one to view at comfort. So
absolutely,
if they
yes,
feel that enough time was not, they're looking at these videos where we have
yes,
enough time to talk coolly and comfortably, always
yes.
gives them the extra information which the doctor in the office probably sometimes was not able to provide. So I would like to
Exactly.
thank you, Tanuja, for this personally.
No, no problem, doctor. We are happy to take this together. And also, what happens in this space, doctor, is when you are actually dealing with cancer. Suppose tomorrow, if I have it, my mindset to deal with it is very different. Right now, what we are doing is, before it happens to you, we are preparing people, which means you are able to think about these things very calmly and very logically. When you are going through the disease, when you are fighting the disease, these things, the emotions play a larger point, and the logic goes for a toss. So as many women who can get educated right now and get aware, I think both of us, our missions are going to get achieved.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, a related question to surgery, plastic surgery, doctor. What are the chances that it spreads to the other breast also? And lot of times I hear that women say just remove both the breasts, because even if it's a 1% chance, I would rather have a flat breast and get the augmentation for both the breasts now. Does it spreads to the next breast also? What happens?
So I think that happens in 5 to 10% of patients only, and
Okay.
that we know that the chance of getting bilateral breast cancer, which means cancer in both the breasts, so it's extremely uncommon for a right side breast cancer to come back after years later in the left breast, or a left breast cancer come back after some months in the right breast. That's a separate cancer completely. So first it was a left breast primary, which was tackled completely. And after 5 years, the right breast cells again became cancerous. So the separate second primary, it's a separate cancer completely. So that happens in 5 to 10% of patients who are having some mutations in the genes which have been carried forward in the family. As a striking example, and this came into light essentially more because of Angelina Jolie. She had a BRCA mutation, which her mother passed it on to her. It was an inherited BRCA mutation. BRCA stands for BR is breast and CA is cancer. So when breast cancer runs in families, that essentially happens because there's a mutation in the BRCA gene. So that happens hardly 5 to 10% of times. Otherwise, if the same breast cancer has to come back, it may come back in the chest wall, may come back in some lymph nodes, but the opposite breast being involved with the same breast cancer is quite uncommon. In fact, it's very, very rare. So we are now talking about those less than 10% of patients who have a chance of inheriting the faulty gene from her mother or from her parents, and that can be the cause for causing the breast cancer in her. So we suspect that by looking at a woman who has, for example, breast cancers bilaterally. So then there's a chance that there's a problem in the gene, and therefore the other cancer also got it. Or a woman who has breast cancer and after some years gets ovarian cancer. So breast and ovarian, something like HBOC or hereditary breast ovarian cancer. Her sisters
Okay.
had breast cancer. Her parents had ovarian cancer. This patient now has breast cancer. So then a male member's having prostate cancer in the family tree or pancreatic cancer. So these are all linked to the BRCA gene. So that happens
Oh,
less than 10%. So don't worry at all about that part. Usually, as part of genetic counseling, there are some guidelines to suggest that which patients should get the BRCA mutation testing done. And
oh,
accordingly, we get the BRCA mutation testing done. If it comes positive, we alert the patient and their family members, our parents, our brothers, sisters, and children to accordingly get the BRCA tested. If they're having the faulty gene in them, we can proactively react and see what can do to prevent occurrence of any cancer in that particular family member.
okay. So నార్మల్గా భయపడవ అవసరం లేదు అంటే బికాజ్ యూ గాట్ వన్ క్యాన్సర్ ఆన్ వన్ బ్రెస్ట్ యూ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ టు ఇట్స్ కేస్ టు కేస్ బేసిస్ దట్ యూ నీడ్ టు బికాజ్
And it's
ద
rare.
it's very rare. So the fear of the next cancer kills people more in the mind than the actual cancer. Because I got
The fear is that the cancer again can come back in the liver or the lungs or the bones. అందుకే ఇప్పుడు జబ్బును మొత్తం కంట్రోల్ చేస్తే మొత్తం నార్మల్ అయిపోయింది, ఆపరేషన్ అయిపోయింది, కీమో అన్ని అయిపోయాయి, రేడియేషన్స్ అయిపోయాయి, ఇది మళ్ళీ రాదు అని చెప్పడం కష్టం. సో మరి ఎప్పుడు మనం వెన్ కెన్ ఐ సే దట్ ఓకే నౌ ద ఫియర్ నీడ్ నాట్ బి దేర్, నౌ ఐ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ టు వరీ అబౌట్ ద క్యాన్సర్ కమింగ్ బ్యాక్. బై అండ్ లార్జ్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ అన్ని సాలిడ్ ట్యూమర్స్ లో మన ట్రీట్మెంట్ మొత్తం పూర్తి అయిపోయాక ఒక 5 years దాకా మనకు అన్ని రిపోర్ట్స్ నార్మల్ వస్తే ఇంకప్పుడు జబ్బు తిరగబడే అవకాశం వెరీ వెరీ లెస్, నిల్ ఆర్ నెగ్లిజిబుల్ ఆర్ వెరీ మినిమల్ ఛాన్స్. అండ్ దెన్ యూ కెన్ రెస్ట్ ఇన్ పీస్ దట్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు స్ట్రైక్ బ్యాక్ అగైన్ ఇన్ ఎనీ ఆఫ్ ది ఆర్గన్స్. And then you can possibly live completely stress-free life. So that's the way we label the patient as cured from cancer. Yes, madam.
కానీ మాకు అవి తెలియదు. వాట్ వీ నో ఇస్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఇస్ హ్యాపెండ్ ఆన్ వన్ బ్రెస్ట్ ద ఛాన్సెస్ ఆఫ్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఆన్ అదర్ బ్రెస్ట్ అంతే తెలుసు. A layman understands only that. But what you are saying is it's not the next breast will get it, but there are other possibilities of other cancer which are possible. So you need to be careful of that, not about the other breast.
No, ma'am. The patient undergoes treatment for the left breast cancer, and that part has been taken care.
Yes.
Now we check and find that there are no abnormal BRCA mutations.
Okay.
Okay, so now the opposite breast becoming cancerous is extremely uncommon because there are no BRCA mutations. For example, now this breast cancer, it can again come back in a few patients in the liver after 1 year or in the lungs or in the bones. So the problem with cancer, why we worry, is మొత్తం ట్రీట్మెంట్ అయిపోయినా కూడా మళ్ళీ జబ్బు తిరగబడచ్చు. అందుకే చెకప్స్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాం. ట్రీట్మెంట్ అయిపోయినా ఇంకా ఓకే రావద్దు అని చెప్పాను అనమాట. Once in 3 months, once in 4 months, నెమ్మదిగా once in 6 months, కనీసం 5 years. In fact, breast cancer lo we go beyond that, sometimes up to 10 years also, because occasionally late recurrences also can happen. So తిరగబడినప్పుడు by chance the previous breast cancer has now found out based on somewhere else. Yes.
Okay. So our test ఏం చేస్తూ ఉంటారు? So you do a full body checkup after
take the history of the patient, do a complete clinical examination. If required, then do some investigations. Otherwise, once in a year, opposite breast mammogram. Sometimes I may ask for an ultrasound or an X-ray. If required, some blood tests. But usually it's by and large history, physical examination, and mammogram, depending on the age, once in a year or once in 2 years.
Okay.
And sometimes some blood tests, sometimes some ultrasounds. Yes,
okay. So but they have to be careful and they have to keep checking. Ante neglect cheyakoodu. ఈ ట్రీట్మెంట్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత you have to be aware and you have to keep checking your body regularly and go get your tests done regularly with the doctor.
Absolutely. The follow-up also is very important.
Right. Okay. And ఇంకో థెరపీ నేను డాక్టర్ విన్నాను. అగైన్ దిస్ ఇస్ గూగుల్ గివింగ్ మీ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. ఐ ఎమ్ టాకింగ్ లైక్ అ లేమన్, అండర్స్టాండింగ్ వెరీ లిటిల్ అబౌట్ దిస్ ఏరియా. హార్మోన్ థెరపీ అనే ఒక థెరపీ కొత్తగా మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. ఆ థెరపీ అంటే ఏంటి డాక్టర్?
బ్రెస్ట్ క్యాన్సర్ ని బ్రాడ్ గా we can divide them into technical term only ER positive breast cancer ఇంకా ER negative breast cancer. So the full form of ER is estrogen receptor. So a large 50 to 65% of breast cancer cells on their surface have estrogen receptors. So this receptor, it can take the female organ and that serves as a food for it, and then the breast cell grows and proliferates. The estrogen is the female hormone produced by the ovaries. Now this female hormone produced by the ovaries, it acts on the breast cancer cell on the receptors and serves as food for it. So when the breast cancer treatment happens, then we check the breast cancer tissue and find out, is it having the estrogen receptor or not? If it is having the estrogen receptor, which is a special normal test available everywhere, then you use then the female hormone estrogen can serve as food for this ER positive breast cancer. So we use hormones or anti-hormones. Hormone therapy ante mana body lo hormone ni manipulate cheyadam. So we use drugs like anti-estrogens or estrogen antagonists, which will then make sure that the estrogen is not able to reach the estrogen receptor positive breast cells. That's called as hormone therapy. So hormone therapy is applicable only to patients who are estrogen receptor positive breast cancer. So if it's an estrogen receptor negative breast cancer, then the estrogen is not driving the cell to become cancerous. It's something else which is trying to make the breast cancer proliferate. And so using a hormone therapy there will be equal to giving water. It won't work because that's not driving the breast cancer.
Right. Again, ante it's not a common one treatment applicable to all. It's again case to case basis. At choosesi meer decide chestaru. So the patients or people who are out there, I would just want to say, go with doctors. They understand, they know what treatment at what point in time, and instead of applying your own knowledge and reading here and there, it's better to consult and understand what treatments are available and how they are going to impact your body. It's very, very important. And I hear there is a lot of advancements which are happening in the radiation therapy itself. So are there any more advancements which are happening in the space of radiation therapy, doctor?
Field of radiation therapy. Yes. Yeah, as you rightly said, madam, surgical oncology is not just breast surgery. It is breast conserving surgery, oncoplastic breast surgery, breast reconstruction. Medical oncology is not just chemotherapy for breast cancer. It is hormone therapy, endocrine therapy, targeted therapies, immunotherapy. Similarly, in radiation therapy also, we give radiation to the chest wall after surgery because we don't want the disease again to come back in that area. So it's like eliminating some microscopic cells. It's like sterilizing the tumor bed completely. So that's what these X-rays do. Now, it might end up causing some harm to the lungs behind, and if it is a left breast, to the heart also behind. So we don't want our women to have long-term complications from radiation to the lungs, and if it's a left breast cancer, then to the heart as well. So previously we had something called as the cobalt machines, which used to give X-rays delivered, but that was a crude form. Now we have something called as IMRT. So you modulate the intensity of the radiation therapy to reach only the area where it has to reach. That's intensity modulated radiation therapy. Now this is not a flat structure. It's something like in an arc form. So there's
Yes.
something, so therefore the volume has to be in an arc form. So that's called as VMAT, volumetric modulated arc therapy. So you modulate
Okay.
the whole under the X-rays, it reaches the entire volume and that too in an arc fashion so that the entire distribution happens evenly and not unevenly. And
Understood.
then, and then what happens? Lastly, you are lying down, you're breathing also. When you're
Yes.
breathing, your chest goes up and down.
Yes.
So our exercise, we tell the patient to hold their breath, but even then,
Yes.
some movement will be there. So we give something called as IGRT beyond that. So you get the radiation therapy rays so that it is able to also adjust with the slight chest movements. Accordingly, you
Movements.
are trying to precisely make sure the X-rays reach in the maximal dose only to the area where it's supposed to reach and not harm any of the underlying structures like the lung or the heart. So these are all the tremendous advances happening in the field of radiation oncology. Also, I'm so happy you brought up this question because this will inform the viewers that you need to make sure that you choose your radiation accordingly after thorough discussion with your radiation oncologist. So it's IMRT,
Very,
it's VMAT, IGRT, etc.
very important, doctor. I think I personally am feeling that I am getting more confident about tackling a disease than I was 40 minutes before. I think you gave step by step knowledge and also the confidence that the kind of advancement which is happening in this area, and there is life after cancer. There is not it's if you handle it at the right time, everything is around timing. You can actually live a very normal life, because from the point you said about chemotherapy, which is very temporary, you can go back to your life. There is surgery, there is plastic surgery, and there are advancements in radiation also, which gives me the comfort, the confidence, and also knowledge that I can tackle if ever there is something which comes my way. So, very important points which you have brought in, doctor. Thank you so much for bringing in such points, plus with so much of clarity and step by step, sir.
At the bottom line of every treating oncologist is maximal efficacy with minimal toxicity. So maximal efficacy against the cancer to tackle it once and for all, but at the same time with the treatment to cause minimal side effects to the patient. And that's what where we are moving now across all cancers.
Very important. I think that comfort and the trust in the doctor, because they are doing their best to make sure that there is minimum impact to you, not just now, even for the future. They're talking about, the underlying heart or lungs should not get impacted. So they are thinking step by step for you and preparing and planning. So trust your doctor, go and consult, ask all the questions which are needed at the right time, but don't do it when it's the last minute. Inform yourself, educate yourself. We try learn so much on social media here and there, but the good part is if you can stop and learn what is happening with your body early on, so that you can tackle it right at the right time. So it's important that we are able to do that. I cannot thank you enough, doctor, for taking out time from your busy schedule to do this session for us. We are ever grateful, and we will continue to do more sessions. We have, sorry, doctor.
And do we have a 2-3 minutes more?
Yes, please,
So
absolutely.
what happened was I would like to just end by telling you that years ago there was one anthropologist, Margaret Mead. So her student asked her that what does she consider as the first sign of civilization in a culture? And the student expected the teacher will answer that it's about like fish hooks or clay pots or grinding stones or like building houses, etc. But then she
Yes.
said that the first sign of civilization in ancient culture was a femur. Femur is thigh bone, a thigh bone which
Yes.
has broken and then healed. So that's the first time that the culture, that tradition, the culture, that area is now
Yes.
civilized. What happens is in the animal kingdom, if you break your leg, your thigh bone, then you will die, come water, because you cannot run from danger. The animal
Yes.
can't go to river for drinking. It can't hunt for food. You are just meant there to lie there motionless, and the prowling beast will kill that animal having the fractured thigh bone. But if a
Yes.
broken femur in a human being has healed, it's evidence that someone else has taken time to stay with the one who fell. He has bound up the wound, he has carried the person to safety, and then
Yes.
tended to that person with the broken thigh bone till the recovery happened. I think that's
Yes.
what Beyond Wings and Shidharni stand for. Helping someone else through difficulty, preparing someone for that is where civilization starts. So I would like to thank Tanuja and the entire team that the first sign of civilization in a culture is be ready to help others in times of need or prepare them also before the need arises. Thank you so much. I would like to sign off with that.
Thank you so much. I don't need to say anything. You summarized it beautifully. Thank you for taking out time for our audience, and we'll connect again in the next session talking more about cancer one more time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.